Krishna, everyone. Welcome back again to our ongoing series on the glories of our beloved Sri Vrindavan Dham. Nama Om Vishnupadaya, Krishna Pashtaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gauravani Pacharine, Nivishesha Shunyavadi, Pasita Deshatarane. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. So, the other day, while discussing the Sharadiya Rasa Lila pastime, we stated that it takes place in the autumn season. And at that time we mentioned that Shastra says there are 6 seasons in Vrindavan, present at all times, existing separately in different forests for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna. And we'll mention them again. The 6 seasons are known poetically as the joy of monsoon, the pleasure of autumn, the satisfaction of winter, the happiness of the dewy season, the beauty of spring, and the auspicious season of summer. It's so nice. And I was reading that the acharyas say that these seasons are particularly important to Krishna. For each of them, in their own way, allows him to associate more closely with Sri Radha, who is the source of his ultimate happiness. These acharyas write that in summer, Sri Radha is the camphor, sandalwood paste, and moonlight that cools Krishna's limbs. In autumn, she is the enchantment of the rasa dance, enjoying pastimes with the king of dancers. In winter, she is the woolen yellow garment that protects his divine body from the chilly winds. In spring, she is the charming beauty that makes him blossom with happiness. And in the monsoon season, she is the graceful Malara melody amidst torrential rains that give delight to his heart. And in the dewy season, there's a dewy season, she is the supreme goddess of fortune who defeats Krishna in pastimes of love. So, 6 wonderful seasons in Sri Vrindavan Dham. However, it's very interesting that further research reveals there's actually 3 other seasons. And they are when autumn and winter appear together as a pair, and when the dewy season and the spring appear together as a pair, and when summer and monsoon combine together as a pair. Each of those pairs is another season. So in this way, Vrindavan has 9 seasons. But here's a surprise. This is a real surprise. There's a 10th season as well. What is that? It's when the 6 seasons, along with the 3 pairs of seasons, all appear together at the same time in the unmanifest pastimes of Radha and Krishna at Radhakund. Unmanifest pastimes are called aprakata pastimes, and these pastimes go on even after Krishna leaves for Mathura and down to the present day. They're always happening here in Vrindavan. But they can only be seen with spiritual eyes. So the acharyas say that at Radhakund, from time to time, all 9 seasons are present at the same time, making a final 10th season in Vrindavan. Wow. So I thought today we could discuss one season in detail, and that's the winter season, because here in India and in the northern hemisphere, it's winter time. So to set the stage, I'd first like to explain that whatever season Radha and Krishna visit in the various forests, because these seasons appear in different forests. So whatever season Radha and Krishna choose to visit in the various forests, their pastimes most often take place in select small gardens or groves called kunjas, where they relax and entertain each other with conversation and loving words and riddles and jokes. We actually sing about these kunjas daily, just before Srimad Bhagavatam. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari, Gopijana Bhalaba Girivardhari. Kunja Bihari. It means Radha and Madhava. All glories to Radha and Madhava, who enjoy together in the kunjas of Vrindavan's forests. But one might ask, what exactly makes a kunja? So our acharyas have written that the corners of a kunja are formed by four tall kadamba trees, which have many leafy branches that hang down to make like natural canopies. You can see this in your mind. And each of these four trees is encircled by two creepers or vines that appear like pairs of lovers embracing, it's written. And these creepers mix with the flowers and the leaves and the fruits of these trees to create a very beautiful display of color. And the four walls of these pastime cottages, they're also referred to as Keli Mandirs. So beautiful, Keli Mandirs. They're made of, the four walls of these pastime cottages are made of flowering Madhavi creepers. And varieties of colorful flowers also hang down to make the tops or the domes above the cottages. And it's written that when the wind blows, these dangling flower creepers act as natural fans to refresh Radha and Krishna. The acharyas also say that the sweet sounds of bees and cuckoos echo through the kunjas that are lit by self-effulgent vines. Musk deer also scent the air, and chamari cows sweep clean the forest floor with their long, bushy tails. So these are kunjas, and these kunjas are where Radha and Krishna enjoy in any particular season. So now about the winter season. Radha and Krishna very much prefer this winter season because the chances of meeting each other become greater due to Jatila and Kutila's restricted movements because of the colder weather. And also, I was reading that if Jatila and Kutila suspect or try to catch Radha and Krishna somewhere in a forest, they can't do it because of the intense winter fog. They just can't see. You know, when a fog rolls in, then it's very difficult to see anywhere. So in the winter here in India, especially here where we are now in Vrindavan, very often a big fog rolls in. You can't see even your hand in front of you sometimes. So it makes it difficult for them to catch Radha and Krishna. So one day, in order to take advantage of these winter conditions, Purnamasi and Vrindadevi, they came to Yavat to meet Srimati Radharani. And they said to her, "O Radhe, Queen of Vrindavan, you have withered in winter just like the sunflower shrinks in the presence of the moon. But in reality, you are like a bonfire, which is an old bonfire, which is cold ash on the outside, but inside, fire is still burning. So in your heart, we know that it's burning with the fire of separation from Krishna. Therefore, O Queen, we are here to take you from this harsh winter to Hemanta Santosh Kunj. Hemanta Santosh Kunj, where your Sakis have made a warm, pleasant environment for your pastimes with Krishna, and where the fire of your love will decorate that forest grove." So poetic. So Hemanta Santosh Kunj. Hemanta Santosh Kunj literally translates as the kunja of satisfaction during the winter season. and we'll see why. So wearing a warm coat made out of silk and cotton weaved together, Srimati Radharani started walking through the forest to this Hemanta Santosh Kunj. And the Shastras describe this forest. As she's walking through it, the Shastras describe what she's seeing. They describe the forest as golden red with ripe mangoes, orange with ripe tangerines, yellow with star fruit, black with bell fruits, white with lodra flowers, and bright green with rich foliage and trees. So when Shri Radha reached the designated kunja, she became intoxicated, it's described, with the sweet aroma of aguru wood smoke that some gopis were burning there for her pleasure. And entering the kunja, it's described, she sat on a Ushna Vedi. Now, an Ushna Vedi is it's described as a warm seat made out of sawdust from auspicious trees and cotton fibers all mixed together. And as she sat down there, Krishna suddenly appeared behind her, and he put his hands around her face and covered her eyes. Now at that point, Lalita smiled, and she asked, Shri Radhe, guess who this is? So Shri Radha tried to touch Krishna's hands, but Lalita said, no, you can't cheat. So Radha smiled and said, the fragrance that is coming to my nose is telling me that this is Krishna. The air flowing and touching me is telling me this is Krishna. My own breath is telling me that this is Krishna, and my thirsty eyes are telling me this is Krishna. Every pore of my body is telling me this is my beloved Krishna. So she said, "Oh Krishna, with the touch of your lotus hands, this cold winter does not appear harsh to me anymore. Let us go to the bank of the daughter of the sun god, Yamuna Devi, who flows with warm water in the cold season and cold water in the warm season. Who flows with warm water in the cold season and cold water in the warm season. Yamuna Devi ki." So Radha and Krishna, they went to the banks of the Yamuna River, and they sat on the same asana together, and they wrapped themselves up in a cotton-filled blanket, it's written. So then Sri Radha said to Krishna, "Krishna, just look at this winter moon. Sometimes he's behind one cloud, and at other times he's behind another cloud. He's changing clouds every minute, just like you, who change gopis one after another." So Krishna was a little embarrassed, but he smiled and he said, Oh Sri Radha, observe the moon more carefully. He's actually very stable. It's only that the clouds are moving, giving the impression that he is moving. In the same way, I am always stable, but the gopis come and go. I'm always stable, but the gopis come and go. So then, quickly changing the subject, Krishna smiled again and he started reciting a poem, revealing again how dear this winter season is to him. Because again, it gives them special opportunities to come together. So this is his poem. He said, "O Radhe, the true friend of mine is the winter season, who always brings me near to you. O my friend, the white moon, you appear to make two lovers come together and rejoice. O cool breeze of this winter season, you destroy the pain of separation within my heart. O true friend of mine, the winter. O true friend of mine, the winter. This was Krishna's poem. O true friend of mine, the winter. O true friend of mine, the winter. So just then, I was reading that all of the 8 Astasakis of Srimati Radharani, they came forward with golden pots full of hot khichdi, along with 4 items, papadums, pickle, chutney, and ghee. And Shastra says that the fragrances of such khichdi are capable of putting even renunciates into the ocean of 6 rasas, are capable of putting even renunciates, tyagis, into the ocean of 6 rasas. So Lalita said, O divine couple, please accept this hot khichdi, which is filled with dry fruits and flowing ghee, and which will make you supremely blissful. So Krishna, he took a spoon of khichdi, and with his hand he offered it to the mouth of Sri Radha. Then Radha took a spoon of khichdi and offered it to Krishna's mouth. So in this way, they together enjoyed this delicious preparation. And I read that this pastime takes place every time Radha and Krishna enter this particular forest where winter resides in Vrindavan. Where winter resides in Vrindavan. Now to some listeners, viewers, it may sound odd that Radha and Krishna enjoy a pastime of eating khichdi. Khichdi is often thought of as a very simple, nice, but simple, basic food. But let us bear in mind that in Vrindavan, even the most simple thing, as khichdi, becomes glorious when offered to Radha and Krishna in pure devotion. Or if that khichdi is prepared or touched by the hand of a pure devotee. In sharing his memories of Srila Prabhupada, Narayan Das, he said, it's very beautiful. He was remembering, there's those videos of memories of Srila Prabhupada that Srila Prabhupada's disciples have done. So he said, quote, once in the La Cienega Temple, which is in Los Angeles, on the occasion of his spiritual master's appearance day, Srila Prabhupada cooked a pot of khichdi. He said that khichdi was his spiritual master's favorite dish. Prabhupada cooked it using polished urd dal, and it had a creamy consistency, he said. And there were 30 of us at that celebration, and there were many other dishes besides khichdi. Since it was a holiday, everyone was in a jolly mood, talking and chanting, and we all got a dab of Prabhupada's khichdi on our plates. But by this time, the khichdi was cold. But we all popped a little into our mouths, and when we did, everyone in the prasadam room fell silent. Something about that prasadam was charged with what must have been, well, he said, Gopi Bhava. Narayan, Gopi Bhava. There was ecstasy involved in that prasadam. We were struck by it. Everything, every exquisite feeling that Prabhupada had for his spiritual master was present in that khichdi. Every exquisite feeling that Prabhupada had for his spiritual master was present in that khichdi. And we had the chance to experience that. And then he went on to say, we realized that Prabhupada had given us an extra special benediction. He had allowed us to open the door a little and peek into what his world was like. We realized that Prabhupada had given us an extra special benediction. He had allowed us to open the door a little and peek into what his world was like. Through khichdi that Prabhupada prepared with great love and devotion for his spiritual master, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, on his appearance day. So Khichdi. Actually, you may also be surprised to learn that here in Vrindavan, every year, on the day after Gita Jayanti, the ISKCON world, the devotee world just celebrated this Gita Jayanti recently, a couple of weeks ago. So every year on the day after Gita Jayanti, on Vyan Jan Dwadashi, all the temples in Vrindavan celebrate a Khichdi festival for 1 month. Day and night, the Goswamis in those temples, they offer delicious Khichdi to the deities and then to the devotees. And this is a very old tradition actually here in Vrindavan. I was reading about it in manuscripts that were, they told me, 400 or 500 years old in the Vrindavan Research Institute. Every year, this festival is observed in all the prominent Vrindavan temples, including Radha Raman, Radha Shamsundar, Radha Ballabha, Radha Gopinath, Govinda Dev. And actually during this particular time, each and every home in Vrindavan makes Khichdi for a month, up until the 14th of January, usually around that time, or what is known as Makar Sankranti. So such a wonderful Khichdi pastime of Shri Shri Radha and Krishna here in Vrindavan during the auspicious winter season. So we'll conclude today with 4 very beautiful verses about all of Vrindavan's seasons from one of our favorites, Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati's Vrindavan Mahim Amrita, the beauty of Vrindavan seasons. He writes, Vrindavan is brilliant with the wonderful virtues of all seasons, more splendid than all splendor, sweeter than all sweetness, more beneficial and auspicious than all auspiciousness, more pleasantly cool and fragrant than all pleasant coolness and fragrance, and a wonderful ocean of bliss greater than all happiness. All glories to Vrindavan's beautiful trees, which are eternal, full of knowledge and bliss, more splendid than the moon and all the stars, covered with numberless leaves and branches, respectfully served by all the splendid seasons, and opulent with the cooling shade that breaks all the burning sufferings of this world. Meditate on 2 new splendorous personalities wearing wonderful new garments and ornaments of new flowers, blossoms and buds, newly meeting together, splendid as new sapphires and gold, and flooded with the nectar of new amorous passion in Vrindavan, where the glories of all seasons shine at the same moment. Where the glories of all seasons shine at the same moment. May the very wonderful nectar that wonderfully shines on the Jamuna's shore in beautiful Vrindavan, wonderful in all 6 seasons, on the wonderful breezes and on the autumn moon there, and that rests on Shri Shri Radhika Madhava, the 2 treasures of transcendental virtue, be seen within my heart. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati ki, Vrindavan Mahima Amrita ki. All glories to the 6 seasons, the 9 seasons, and the 10 seasons of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Hare Krishna. I hope you enjoyed all that nectar about the seasons and about the 10th season and the pastimes of the Khichdi pastimes. Hare Krishna. Thank you once again. And we'll be back in a couple of days with more nectar from the eternal Sri Vrindavan Dham. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki, Shri Shri Radha Shama Sundar ki, Vrindavaneshwari Shrimati Radharani ki, the winter season ki. It's cold here now. Shri Gaurani Tai ki, Shri Mayapur Dham ki, Shri Krishna Sankirtan Yagya ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Gauda Premanandi. Jai Jai Sri Sri Radhe Shyam.